chapter 15 of the book, I talked about the International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders, ICAL. ICAL, International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders, used to be ICA, the International Coalition of Apostles. And in 1999, a group of apostles met in Singapore and believed that God would be pleased for them to create what they called the International Coalition of Apostles. And the reason is because they saw in the last 20 years or so that apostles began to emerge in the 80s, especially in the 90s. And the emergence of these apostles was just kind of an amazing organic thing, and that they needed each other because they all kind of realized they had a piece of the puzzle, but not the whole puzzle. So they needed each other. They needed to coalesce, to come together, to create a coalition. And in that coalition, they would be able to bring their pieces of the pie together, the puzzle together, and create something that would be really beneficial for the earth, for thousands and even millions of people. And so in 1999, they launched the International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders. It was originally led by John Kelly, and he shortly turned it over to Apostle C. Peter Wagner, who was much more notable in the circles of the prophetic, apostolic, and prayer movements. And so C. Peter Wagner led ICA for a number of years, up until about 2008, maybe 2008, 2009, when he turned it back over to John Kelly. In 2013, they decided to change the name from International Coalition of Apostles to International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders. And the reason they did that is because we understood, and I was part of this process, that we understood that there are many apostles on the earth that do not always use the title. Now, I've made my case in this book that if you are an apostolic leader, you should accept that title. However, I know that when people accept it by nature and they affirm that they're an apostle, they affirm that that's their calling of God, yet in their title, in their proper title, or their formal title, their official title, they may not say Apostle Mark Pfeifer. They may say pastor, they may say bishop, they may just say Mark. And we understood that using the title formally is different in a lot of cases. For instance, a lot of the leaders, apostolic leaders in Africa, use the word bishop, but make no mistake, they are apostles, and they'll even say so. There are many denominations that use different names. A superintendent, for instance. But if someone is able to affirm that they are an apostle, that that is their gift, that is their calling of God, then we should not let that title hinder them from being a part of ICAL, the International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders. Now, that doesn't mean at all that we're against the title. We're absolutely for the title of apostle and believe that all apostolic leaders should accept it in the term of describing their gift. But their formal title, however they choose to do that, is up to them. We felt like that we wanted them in our coalition. We needed them. They have a piece of the puzzle. So in order to do that, we change our name slightly, and that allows for that broader entrance door so that people can become affiliated with us. Now, we began to change ICA in its structure starting around 2009, 2010, and began to form what's called national coalitions. And national coalitions simply means that we believe every nation of the earth ought to have its own coalition of apostles. So we could have the Canadian coalition, the United States coalition, the Mexican coalition. We could have the Ugandan coalition. We could have the Welsh coalition. We could have the Norwegian coalition. We could have the German coalition. We could have the Pakistani coalition. In any nation of the earth, we have a coalition of apostles. That's our vision. That's what we hope to do. And then all of these coalitions form the broader international coalition. And this international coalition is for the purpose of bringing order and strength to the apostolic movement around the world. See, my vision is if I would get a call from someone in India and in inquiring who they were, say they wanted me or gave me an invitation to come to India, And if I learned that they're a part of the Indian coalition of apostolic leaders, I would instantly know that they're legitimate, because we only let legitimate apostolic leaders into the broader coalition. And so being a part of the coalition to me in regard to that is very, very important. And so the International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders is the body that I personally am affiliated with. If you're watching this video, you may be watching it through, having ordered it through the International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders. If you have, you know about ICAL, and that's why you're watching this. But perhaps you're watching this and you're not familiar with the International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders. You can Google our name. We have a Facebook page. You can find the Facebook page. You can find the website. Google the website and look on the website. You can get more information on the website than I can share with you now. But just let me say this in conclusion about ICAL, that I believe it's very, very important. It is a godly opportunity to bring balanced teaching and accountability to the apostolic movement around the world. And for that reason, I hope that if you have apostolic gifting, calling, and you're stepping into that apostolic role, that you strongly consider, if you're not already, to be a member of your national coalition. And if your nation has no coalition of apostolic leaders, then certainly join the International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders. Join us, help us, be a part of our team, connect with other apostolic leaders. It really will be worth your time, worth the energy and your resources to be a part of this growing group of leaders worldwide.